Today, we're making Snickers, but this time, it's the giant, exclusive Leah version. Imagine this: a moist cocoa sponge, a silky caramel crown, almonds for crunch, and a shiny chocolate coat. Sounds good, right? We'll start with the caramel. Pour 2/3 of a cup or 130 grams of sugar into a saucepan and heat it gently until it melts down and turns a deep amber. Don't stir. Sugar gets cranky and will crystallize if you do, trust me. Here's a fun bit of history while we wait. During World War I, US soldiers were given small caramel chews in their field rations. They weren't just for energy. Chewing kept their jaws busy in the trenches, lowered stress, and gave them a taste of home. Cool, huh? When the sugar begins to bubble, lower the heat to about 210 degrees Fahrenheit, or 100 degrees Celsius, and swirl the pan in circles so nothing burns at the bottom. Slowly stream in 1/2 cup plus 2 tablespoons or 140 grams of heavy cream. The sauce will hiss like crazy, but don't panic, it'll calm down soon if you just keep stirring. Whisk in 1/2 cup or 80 grams of butter until it melts. Then pour 1 cup or 140 grams of chopped white chocolate into the hot caramel and stir until silky. Oh man, I almost forgot this part. Add 1/2 teaspoon or 2 grams of salt for balance, then keep whisking until smooth. Transfer the caramel to a square pan, press plastic wrap directly on the surface, and chill for at least 4 hours until thick and pipeable. That plastic wrap prevents condensation and keeps the top layer from oxidizing and drying out, which is super important. Next up, the sponge. In a small bowl, whisk together 1/2 cup or 50 grams of cocoa powder with 1 tablespoon or 5 grams of coffee powder. That little hint of coffee will make the chocolate taste even deeper, you'll see. Meanwhile, melt 6 tablespoons or 90 grams of unsalted butter with 3/4 of a cup or 180 milliliters of milk in a saucepan. Let the butter disappear and wait until the milk just starts to simmer. Pour this hot mixture into the cocoa coffee blend and whisk until smooth. Pretty satisfying already, right? Next, in a mixing bowl, beat 2 large eggs, about 120 grams, with 3/4 of a cup or 150 grams of sugar on medium speed until pale and fluffy. Then add 1 teaspoon or 5 milliliters of vanilla and 1/4 teaspoon or 1 gram of salt. Pour in the warm cocoa mixture and whisk again until you get a glossy batter. Using a sifter, add 1 teaspoon or 4 grams of baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon or 1 gram of baking powder, and 3/4 of a cup or 95 grams of all-purpose flour. Begin sifting the mixture right into the batter. This helps keep the sponge light and airy. I always like this part, it's oddly satisfying, don't you think? Whisk gently until the batter flows smoothly. It should pour in a steady ribbon, not sluggish. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 degrees Celsius. Line a rectangular tray with parchment. Pour in the batter, smooth it out with a spatula, and tap the tray lightly to pop air bubbles. Bake for about 35 minutes, then cool completely on a wire rack. Here's a little tip. Avoid opening the oven for the first 20 minutes. A cold draft can make the sponge collapse. Trust me, I learned this one the hard way. While the cake bakes, slice 150 grams of almonds thinly. Not paper thin though, we want crunch. Here's a quirky nugget. Almonds were discovered in the tomb of King Tutankhamun in the Valley of the Kings in Egypt. They had been placed alongside other treasures to accompany him into the afterlife, showing how prized they were 3,000 years ago. Pretty fancy, huh? Now we're going to toast them in the oven for 10 minutes at 450 degrees Fahrenheit or 230 degrees Celsius until golden brown and fragrant. Smells amazing already. For the chocolate, set up a pot of simmering water and place a heat-proof bowl on top, already filled with 2/3 of a cup or 112 grams of dark chocolate, 1/4 cup or 37 grams of white chocolate, and 2 tablespoons or 30 grams of vegetable oil. Melt gently, stirring until smooth and shiny. That splash of oil keeps the coating supple so it won't crack when you bite. No tempering needed, thank goodness. Did you know, in 1879, Swiss chocolatier Rodolphe Lindt invented the conching machine, which turned gritty cacao into the silky smooth chocolate we know today. Without this, chocolate bars would still taste sandy and rough. Can you imagine? By now, the sponge should be cool and the caramel nice and thick. Trim the cake edges for neatness, then cut it into even bars, about 10 pieces, but size them however you like. Gently peel off the parchment and set the bars on a rack. Using a tall glass for support, spoon the chilled caramel into a piping bag and start piping ribbons across the tops of each bar. The caramel actually turned out smoother than I hoped. And honestly, it's so satisfying to watch each bar fill up with that glossy topping. Anyone else get that same feeling? Next, press the toasted almonds right into the caramel so they stick. Think of it as building little anchors for the final chocolate coat. We're gonna set a wire rack over a tray to catch drips. Lift each bar carefully and dip it into the melted chocolate. You can go halfway for that two-tone look or dunk them completely for a glossy shell. Let the extra chocolate drip off before setting them back on the rack. Repeat with every bar. Hey, while we're in the middle of this, here's another fun fact. The first chocolate-covered ice cream bar to take America by storm was the Eskimo pie. Christian K. Nelson received a US patent for it on January 24, 1922. The invention was literally a block of ice cream dipped in a chocolate coating. Crazy, right? Now we're going to chill the tray for at least an hour to set. Finally, it looks like we've nailed it, you guys. Take a look. They're pretty close to giant Snickers bars, right? First, the soft snap. Then the sweet, salty caramel oozes out, mixing with the crunchy almonds and the rich, moist sponge beneath, all wrapped in sleek chocolate. And that's our Snickers-style bars. Would you dip them halfway for contrast, or go full coat for drama? Tell me in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Leah for more little edible celebrations.